Falcons have decided to go much more left field, to go with Vertigo. That intrigues me. And we'll have Anubis as the decider. Something I feel like I've learned already from seeing them today is the stats say that Dust 2 and Anubis should be, picks all the time for them. But they don't like to pick these maps.
No. Yeah, and they have picked Dust 2 a fair amount. I don't think they've really picked Anubis as much. But they have been toying with Vertigo as of late, and they're not looking too bad on it. So I'm excited for that when we get to see it. But Nuke, first map in the series, 3D Max's choice, and T-side pistol is already just blitzing straight through it. Just an attack on the upper side, some Pious down, and there is no one else close enough by to contest. A man advantage and a plant. 3D Max getting a lot out of this pistol already.
Falcons want to retake. They just can't get past his util. Now the flash comes through heaven. There's so many terrorist players to deal with. Free gets traded. Snappy. Slammed to the ground. Some nice frags from Magus, but surely time not enough here. Maka knows what he's doing. There's no kit. And this round is done. It's going to be pissed around for 3D Max, surely.
He got on this just a little bit too late. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe about 2 seconds off. But Matt just seemed pretty convinced. Yeah, he didn't even think about it.
Interesting. Oh, well. Guess he only would have saved armor at the most.
Yeah, I mean, just fast pistol, good Molotov to buy even more time, and Falcons didn't have a lot loaded to go in for that retake. They weren't expecting 3D Max to just attack upper like that. They would have had more than just some pies to defend if that was the case.
We're straight in?
Yeah.
No messing about. Jocko up first. Takes some damage, but frags are flying the way of 3D Max. They prise open that bomb site.
Man alive.
It's not even around. It's not even around. I really respect these calls because it takes some cojones to say we're going to go into a force bind team close range fights. But we're just going to keep it simple.
Yeah, they're just flying at them at the moment. I mean, first 2 rounds are not always a great indicator of, I guess, what's to come in the future rounds. But yeah, no fear from 3D Max against the force buy. They wouldn't have even identified it as a force buy until they were already taking these first fights. It can be easy as the underdog team, which 3D Max certainly are, to play a bit more standard and hope that you can create opportunities later on. But if you're playing as disruptive as this, it'll be difficult for the Falcons, maybe even to get engaged at the start of this nuke. Depends whether this pace keeps up and whether 3D Max can actually keep getting away with it.
Okay, well this one's a much heavier eco, just the saves for some Pious and Snappy. Smattering of pistols around that. Maybe they'll stack an error in the map, do something a bit unorthodox for now. Loading up Inno in numbers. 3D Max elsewhere, playing the range game. Ooh. Some Pious. Absolute zinger there. Tag onto Jocko. And how did Madden get up on the roof? I guess he went through lobby.
Yeah. But they seemed very aware. The timing for them to have checked Silo like that.
I guess Lucky spotted him getting up or something.
Yeah, or maybe heard the ladder. It's good to see that 3D Max are running with pace. They will not shy away. They don't play scared. But they could have been in for a nasty time on lower just there. Dupree had the timing. A player pulled the nade out, but good coverage here for 3D Max thus far. And they do have 2 players that are low HP. This could still get uncomfortable for them. Joko already dealt with. That's the bomb spotted, and oh my goodness, even the instant clear over towards the vents. Magisk was making a lot of noise. They do deal with Magisk in that vent, and now it's only Snappy. No real chance at this. Yeah, double swinging into it. They knew they had him trapped. It's good damage from Falcons on the half-buy.
Guns out. Big Green on Sunny P. Where's he heading? We'll find out soon enough. For those that weren't around earlier for the OG game, it was T-side Falcons. That was problematic. CT was pretty good. They left themselves way too much to do. So we're expecting big things. And Madden, the man on a mission. First found. Can't readjust for the second. And Joko is on a tear. I don't know if you saw a tracer. He's found some Pious. Another trade as well on outer. Endless duels as Falcons throw 4 players into the fray. But with only 2 kills tumbling in their direction. They've left Snappy a hell of a lot of work to do.
And that really felt like a kill that Dupree should have had. It would have made Snappy's job a little easier in this clutch. But yeah, far too much to handle. Mako already a deep position lobby. And a 3K for him after the Joko double kill outside. Joko started this game 8-3 in the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, I wonder at what point Falcons will start burning pauses. They have only lost 1 gun round, which is... If you look at it that way, not too scary, but... the idea would be 0-4 down.
You just know how easily sometimes you can get locked out on T-sides if you have bad starts.
Well, especially the way they played earlier.
Yeah.
That was rough. But these rounds can be dangerous. As is the case in Modern Counter-Strike. 3D Max aware now that there's a half-buy on the server. They can hear the MP9s. Some Pious again through a smoke. Can't believe his luck. I feel like at some point these hut players are going to swing and take fights, but not yet. Biding their time.
Oh. It's a little awkward there for Magisk. Wasn't expecting that Molotov to have spread as far as it did. Took a little bit more damage than was really necessary. Outside cross 4, 3D Max, just the one main waterfall smoke. While trying to encroach in from ramp, there is a trade available. So it doesn't fall too far away here for 3D Max versus these SMGs. Yeah, even lucky, able to get away with a 3rd kill there. Madden knew he was low, and he only had to do 1 more bullet of damage, and was just unable to connect. So it's ultimately nicely handled.
It's getting a bit out of control now. Especially as 3D Max's money is good. Gonna take consecutive rounds for Falcons and then some. Maybe 3 or even 4 if there's bomb plants.
I actually like this from 3D Max thus far. Just the way that they're playing against Falcons that sometimes can be a little static. Like you sort of talked about during the OG series, Falcons can play a little boring at times. And I find 3D Max, when they play against boring teams, overcomplicate a lot. They take way too long. They don't leave themselves a lot of leeway. They themselves like to play a little boring at times. So for them to have simplified in the way that they're calling, and for it to have worked so far, these are all very good signs for them coming into this series. You know, Nuke maybe is a map where you're starting T-side winning pistol conversion rounds and the sort that gives you a little bit more runway than you typically get on a map that is still CT-sided in the light of a lot of T-sided maps in the pool. But yeah, 3D Max are playing up and calling a relatively simple game, and the Falcons have yet to stop them yet.
It's been decisive. And with pace. Falcons, though, change the game. Lobby crunch. Sees Lucky dispatched. So plenty of map control. 3D Max react fast. They know numbers or a lobby. But they haven't beaten the CTs, have they? Magisk and Madden on location. Snappy's down too. The rotations are brutal. Falcons have just played that perfectly. Read like a book. Take lobby, get 1 kill. How are 3D Max going to move? We know exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're 1 step ahead of the counter action. 3 on that lower side defense. This blows up in their faces. A much more aggressive CT setup from the Falcons. Good for the immediate lobby crunch, and 3D Max were ill-prepared. That's straight out of the timeout. The Falcons have called that.
Reminds me of a round we saw earlier where their rotates low was super fast. Somebody on Falcons is making very aggressive calls when they have information. And to their credit, that one was perfection. That's how you dominate CT side with aggression.
Yeah, I remember it. It was the snappy get kill at ramp, full back into lower. Then they had 4 fighting on the lower bomb site.
Yeah. Feels like you're playing a team of 7. That many are on location. What have we got there? Gravity is lower. Taking space. For the moment, nobody on Falcons is respecting that a player could be down secret. Of course, he'll have to make noise if he actually wants to come all the way to ramp. For the moment, commits to holding vent. If his teammates get down ramp and Falcons don't suspect the ruse, don't expect the cross, this man here could find 3 frags against the rotating players.
Are they going to make ample noise enough that Gravity can open this decon door with Falcons being none the wiser? It's just bleeding a lot of time off the clock. Maka getting a kill out from door.
I think it's works, you know. Nobody's moving.
Yeah, and they have no clue that this ramp player is about to get flanked in from the lower bomb site. Snappy will be blissfully unaware and completely sidelined in a moment's notice. They're holding trigger discipline. They clear him out, and they've got full access to that B bomb site, courtesy of that quick vent drop.
This round has been a masterclass from 3D Max.
Bomb has been planted.
Utter control.
Yeah. I mean, it's rare enough you can get down those vents without sustaining too much damage, let alone, I think, just the recognition from 3D Max to have called a round that they had no idea.
I think he ran down which makes us here now question what info did Falcons have that nobody could have crossed? Were they breaking the smokes and saw nobody?
Okay.
Something fed into that. It's also quite possible, so when you're playing CT Nuke, even if you know somebody's vent dived, for example, I'm not saying you did it there, even if you know somebody's vent dived or you think somebody could have, you don't always have to actually respect it, because they need to come into play. They might be thinking, oh, there could be somebody lower, but they'll have to make noise. But obviously the noise was so well masked, I had no idea.
Topside attack. 3D Max out from Hut, and Dupree gets floored. The counter flashes were available in time, but Magisk has managed another magic double. From MP9 to AK, now sets himself inside a door, and he sees the barrel of Maka, but Maka still spins on him. Back to 3-on-3, and they don't have an established foothold back on this top site. 3D Max still hesitant to get the plant down. It's Joko that's got a double from the CT vent. So many different positions where it looks as though 3D Max are going to lose numbers, and suddenly 3D Max have just found a solution. Some Pies are stuck in the vent with an AWP. There's no shot, no chance. This is a 7th round for 3D Max.
I felt like Magisk had done enough there.
Almost certainly.
Been so good today, getting more than you'd ever expect in impossible positions. But yeah, this player's coming out of heaven for Falcons. Just got absolutely nothing done. Some Pius couldn't help. He was down the bottom of the vent.
This has been a
Outside of the
crazy
one really
first
good
half
round
from
for
Joko.
Falcons, this is bad.
Yeah. This has been a monster half for Joko, though. I think he's had more rounds on double kills than Dupree's had kills.
Let's have a look. 9, 14.
That's at least the fourth multi-kill, I think.
22. Jocko only has 9 less kills than Falcons. It's upsetting. Continue. So Falcons going to buy. Could have half bought, but they're going all in. A couple MP9s. Guess the util is favourable. So no qualms there. There's also a kit on Snappy. Should it come to an after plant. But now the utility is holding 3D Max at bay. But I don't think you'd be too concerned if you're the T side. You've got your 5 smokes. You can still throw some utility onto yard and either cross or fake just that. And obviously, given previous rounds, Falcons will rotate if you're throwing cross smokes.
Yeah, 3D Max went for the read, given that Sumpais saved that AWP in the previous round. They thought he'd peek main. They triple naded at the start of this round. But no real active move here for Sumpais to make use of that AWP. He has position alongside Snappy. The 3D Max are stoic inside of lobby.
I feel like there's some ramp aggression coming soon. Maybe Snappy's just moving. He was pushing close to ramp. I thought he might go in. Maybe a flash from Sumpais. But as of yet, massive movement. Mac is holding. Mac is holding. Mac can't connect. That was a huge opportunity. It's info as well for Falcons. They're not moving.
20
From the
seconds.
other side of the map.
Need to see some movement here from the French squad. 15. They do dive down those vents on the bombs, so they can actually get it planted towards lower. Sumpais isn't in great position to have cancelled out the cross. Lucky does die, but plant's already in from Joko, who has been a monster on Nuke so far. Sure, 2 on 4. Now, actually, 1 on 4 as he tries to defend this lower side post plant, but they're out from the vents. Dupree, actually, or sorry, Snappy, getting caught coming out of those vents. And even though Joko is pinned in position by the Sumpais AWP, he still gets away with another. It is a multi-kill from Joko this time over, but 2 more kills that he just couldn't quite get. Second round for the Falcons.
He still feels so dangerous. Very hard to contain. Has been Joko. 165 ADR. We take that?
Yeah.
Certainly do. Quick pause for Falcons as they ruminate on where this is heading. They'll have to invest a lot of their remaining funds into this round. It could be a point of discussion.
I mean, the only real call we've seen that's worked for the Falcons so far was that lobby crunch into lower side reinforcement. This one was far more reactive, a little bit more hectic. You know, 3D Max weren't exactly offering up a lot. They were expecting a more active move, and it never really came. I mean, it was Snappy that tried to walk ramp, but after that, didn't work out. Nothing further. They're having to rummage through these rounds to try and find an advantage, and 3D Max have not given them many chances.
A side's quite exposed for Falcons. Sumpais normally would be up on some around heaven, but he's covering ramp. Snappy is instead playing as the ramp player is playing secret. Madden now peels off. He saw nothing from Garage. Of course, we can see off the minimap that it might actually be quite an inopportune time to stop holding this yard position. Now the wrap smokes are coming in. First smoke lands. Over towards Minion, taking a lot of space here. Madden checked in towards Heaven. And he's got no help, has he? There's nobody nearby. Snappy has not got aggressive yet. Late to the party. And this is forced an inner lobby push from Falcons. They can't sit on the site anymore. 3D Max of the entire map. Just needs to cross Dupree. And the A-bomb site is theirs. Good trade. But Magus, he's so deadly. I don't think he's done enough. Not this time, but my god, did he try.
I mean, the flanking Sampaio ult, if he continues out from hut, he is a dead man walking. Could just be a timing that could be hit, but no, Joko never deterred from the angle, just honed in on Sampaio's approach. And yeah, it does feel like Magus just gets away with so many kills where he almost has no business winning a second fight. And it's still not enough. That's incredibly tough. 3D Max were wrapping Heaven on 30 seconds. They knew about the fact they could jump up if they bypassed Madden, but Madden didn't want to let them cross so simply. Fast move from Maka outside as well, and this time he won't get caught by Sampaio's quick scout. It's instead Gravity behind him, trying to journey to secret. And Maka's thrown all this presence. It's not as though Sampaio has a great weapon to contest, so he drops into the A-bomb site. It's a good kill to find. Snappy, active from ramp. Man, 3D Max love calling the reset. Turning back from outer to that lobby position. See Maka still hounding round hell in heaven.
I'm amazed they haven't seen Magus. They're not on board with that fight. Yeah, Magus called out in the open. Horrid timing. Could be another catch here any moment. Dupree has no idea. And that's why you hit the pause button. It sows seeds of doubt. Falcons move. And they are out of position. It's a 2-on-2 now. With this bomb going down, we're going to ask questions. Where are they? Is there a kit anywhere? There's none on these players. They need to go.
Timing's great there for Snappy. Joko's back was exposed and it's Exorcist trapped into that CT vent, fighting out from his position, but Sampaio has him. 3 kills for the Spaniard as Falcons get their hands on another round. Those have been hard to grasp in this first half.
Well, they had the one clean round earlier, but outside of that, even in their losing efforts, 3D Max are making it tremendously difficult. That one was really amazing.
I love the decision there for Maka to make noise on the ladder as well, just as his teammates are going into lobby. Like you said, we weren't on board for them catching Magus inside of door, but he's, I think, hoping that by journeying up that ladder and making noise that they will push into lobby, the same reaction they did last time, and they got the kill that they were looking for. A lot of cute plays to manipulate the macro of the Falcons.
This is damage limitation for Falcons, and they need 4. This round is important. Madden, that is a move. I guess he didn't expect so many players to be around his whereabouts. He learned the hard way. There indeed were. Dupree dishes out a lot of damage, but there's still a man to the deficit. Snappy's here. Where's Sampaio? Sampaio is coming down ramp now. And 3D Max again. Look at this. Hitting the pause button. And Lucky has A. Calls up the cavalry. More sublime mid-rounding.
Oh, God. But they had no idea about Sampaio in from heaven. He got there fast enough. Oh, the noise. It's just far too much to handle. Heard the tap. Heard a player coming through hut and just tried to get out of dodge. It's a snappy clutch that would be very well placed at the end of this half. No kit available. No one really considering the position, but they're also hidden. And now that he's out in the open, Snappy, a dead man walking. 9-3 at the half on the attack from 3D Max. We'll see if they close out this nuke, or whether or not Falcons come back.
Bit of a surprise. First half here between 3D Max and Falcons. It is 3D Max's pick, but we didn't expect a whitewash. And now with 9 rounds going into the defensive half, get this half off to a good start, and we'll be on map 2 in no time.
Fast kill at the start of this one. Some Pious holding from door and Modding trying to taper out. Lucky's dualies do sing though, and Exorcist will join him in the choir. 3D Max devastatingly shut down this topside attack, even with the opening kill going the way of the Falcons. Don't imagine there's much that Magus can do. He's been great at getting kills when he shouldn't, but 4 is far too many. Everybody's tapping 2s. But nobody actually wants to give away or go for a fight.
Yeah. It's hard to think that Meg is going to get much more out of this round. Doing his damnedest. Nope. No more collected. It is 10 for 3D Max. No bomb plant for Falcons. They might have to force anyway. They're so far down. And indeed they will. 3D Max are in touching distance now of getting us onto Vertigo very, very quickly.
Yeah, this has been... They've been dominating them. They've been playing a better... I mean, they were manipulating the macro so well in that first half. I felt like they were outplaying them positionally a lot. Frenchmen have a lot to show for this Nuke performance versus some legends of our game. Bias on this scout, the rest of the team crossing to secret, but Bias wants these kills. That's why he wants to fish at range, and he will finish off on Tamaka. At least a kill back, but can't land the subsequent tags, and will get run down by Gravity coming out from main as their best distance weapon that they brought forward on this round, bar the Deagle. And it is only Joker really in defense of the lower side. Magisk does get one. Takes a lot of damage for his troubles, does pepper up Gravity all the same, and Falcons have got themselves a plant at the very least. Still a way this could blow up in 3D Max's face. They don't have a kit, and sure they have a smoke and SMGs, but a couple of nice shots, and Falcons could really be in it for a chance to win. No chance that they are sticking in this circumstance. Lucky trying to safeguard. Now Joko will commit to the defuse, but Lucky can't afford to lose this duel or lose much space, and that'll be the round with it. Madden in ill position to contest the defuse. He does get away with one more kill before the round closes. But 3D Max dodge out losing to the force buy, which is very important for them. I just don't even think we're going to see Falcons be able to properly play this D-side.
They're going to play any Counter-Strike here, or are we going straight to Vertigo? So we need to find out. I don't know how you play out this round with so few nades. For Team Falcons, I guess the saving grace is there's no warp to get past. If you lose numbers early, scarce going to make a difference. Lucky trapped now behind Unbreakable. That's that name for a reason. Difficult even if he's pinned to frag him out. So Falcons have some space. 3D Max are making moves here in towards these double doors. Can Madden get a catch? Drops it the wrong way. Madden almost failed. Maka finishes the job. It's an awkward exchange. But nonetheless, advantage 3D Max.
Yeah, they even find some Pius outside. Maka smoked off one side of the double doors and can keep contesting from this open door position. Nate does great work. Dispersed the smoke as well, made them hesitant to commit to the plant. Dupree, good kill to find. Maka finally dispatched him, gives them a little bit more breathing room on this lower side. But they're all over Decon, and they come through the smoke, just as Dupree did to safeguard the plant. And so Lucky will find that final kill, and it will be a 12th here for the French. Yeah, Falcons just aren't going to be able to play proper T-side nuke, given their money is never going to be in great position, and they've committed to these buys. I'm gobsmacked, to be quite honest. First, I didn't expect 3D Max would be playing against the Falcons. Let alone did I expect Joko to have the monster first half he had. And for Falcons to just be brushed aside. Oh my goodness. Timing is good there for Snappy, but Gravity gets a hold of his weapon in time? That's just a sign of the times.
Oof. Brutal kill there from Magus. Makes it 2. Dupree chimes in. Well, finally, in the dying stages, getting some individual outplays.
Oh.
Joko steps up. He's been the man of the hour. The man of the map. 20 to 10 in the score department now. And Magus He might have the bomb, but with Jocko still alive, a giant to be felled, he's going to play with exercise over on that upper site, so if Magus can get lower, maybe there's a bomb plant. But only Magus can save Falcons from what can only be described as a devastating defeat.
Now, he will have the safety of this plant. 3D Max are playing together. Lower tap from... Oh my goodness. Lower tap from Magus, and he tried to reroute to the vents, but considers it again. Didn't hear any rotations or any steps being made on that top side. And now as he goes back to those double doors, it's already occupied. He closed it right in their faces, and they open it right back up. A 13-3 blowout by 3D Max in the first map. Falcons are going to be left a little perplexed as to how that game just didn't even happen for them.
I mean, that wasn't on the cards.
They didn't even play Counter-Strike.
It's not supposed to happen. We need to take 3D Max seriously now, guys. They're free map.
Sure.
We get more into that when we're actually on the map and have examples, but I actually feel like people should take deep control more. Everyone just smokes the closer doorways, and then the smokes get bursted, and they all die. That's what I see all the time.
Yeah, okay. No, I think that's fair. I think it's weird, because Vertigo was a bit of a divisive map. I think there were some that hated it, a lot that hated it, and some that were okay with the map. And the change, I think, has pushed more to dislike the changes or dislike the map in the way it's developed. But I actually like the changes. I think, like you said, it adds layers of complexity.
Yeah,
but
I think you struggle to say it's a bad change. I think people that are critical, the argument they might make is this hasn't made it much better, and I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But it hasn't made it worse.
That is... Yeah. That's probably where I'd stand on it as well.
But at least it's different. I mean, it gives teams something to work through. We speak all the time about maybe having season or map pools to force these teams to rethink their takes, retake their moves, and look at this. Smokes in towards this connector position. You wouldn't have seen this 6 months ago. And it's working to perfection. Clinical kill from Maka. And I don't see how these remaining Falcons players get back into this.
Maka is just trying his best to toy with them, even get away with another kill, but he backs himself away. This is those smokes were fading, and they all go out swinging. Just has to commit to the reload on Maka, but Lucky will be there to drive up a third kill. Nice execute from 3D Max. Both sides smoked off on that elevator rotation, and they took deep control.
Do you know good call-outs for each of the doorways? Because I don't. I just sort of say...
The whole place is elevator.
Yeah. I'm sure the teams differentiate, because how do you know what you're smoking?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe I should message someone.
Maybe the big new opening is connector and the other side is elevator, because that one's existed for longer.
Possibly. I do think, though, with that sort of name scheme, you run a lot of risk of people misunderstanding.
Sure.
Maybe I should message someone like Mezzy and ask what Vitality say.
Yeah, I just need a comms video from somebody and I'll adopt what they do.
Listening Carrigan. But I saved that Liquid comeback video, but I haven't got around to watching it yet.
Oh yeah, that's a great watch. This is quite a perplexing buy from the Falcons. 5 MP9s, and that's it.
So shades of this earlier. That was on the T side, though. On Nuke. Relentless buy patterns. They're not scared. And Magus has... I guess he's pushed mid. He's in behind B lobby. Falcons will be very content sticking their 4A setup. They're now going to get aggressive. So Pius, 3 frags, and Magus picks up the lurker. How dare you question their buy?
Yeah,
it seems.
No, that's on me. That is on me. That's outrageous. And I knew it was going to be a fighting setup for the Falcons, given that they were all in proximity to ramp, but yeah, for them to have gotten so much free space like that, Yeah, that really hurt for for 3D Max. That's a real blow to the confidence that they lose so quickly as well. Okay, that smoke is awful. Fortunately, 3D Max will throw one themselves just to try and feign some presence over towards B.
These T-rounds are so difficult. So difficult when you don't have the util or the guns. Just 1 for 1 for Snappy, but in some ways you kind of take that. He gets the information. Madden's going to stick around and not anybody that close. And Pius is towards ramp. But maybe Madden doesn't need any help. He himself is the cleanup crew. Free for him. And Falcons. I dare say they won't lose much more to this force spy. No, they do not. 2 for them.
Yeah, nice quick recognition of that Molotov being shallow enough that he could actually peek behind it. Not in... I mean, that's perfect angle management. He didn't have to worry about anything other than that one gap towards short. Where he could peer into the ramp. I sometimes think, you know, top teams are teams that, you know, their target is the top 10, like the Falcons should be. I think they can sometimes struggle against these teams that are constantly running through online games and playing all sorts on the maps when they change. So you always see a tier 2 team make a new map almost their home ground at some point or another. They really drive a lot of the innovation. I think, you know, that can sometimes be an advantage for them coming into underdog matches like this.
The French teams, Heat included, which became the core of this team, played a heck of a lot of Vertigo back in the days.
Yeah.
When I was coaching, we played them all the time, because it was one of our favorite maps too. And they were good. It was one of their better ones. So would have played a lot as Double Pony as well, I think.
Yes. So,
no huge surprises. I'm still a little bit perplexed by this veto for Falcons, but fruit will bear out in the game itself. And this man, Jocko, well, he was beastly on Nuke. Picking up where he left off. It is just 1 for 1. And actually, Madden again finds more than he bargains for. It's been a menace.
Madden's had a hell of a day at Counter-Strike, and it's a little awkward there for XRCs. First burst, maybe thought he killed Dupree, but he did not commit to the spray enough that he could finish off his meal. So Dupree getting away with a triple kill. Great timing as well to clear out through mid. Falcons 4-1 start after losing the pistol.
It's already going better than Nuke.
I don't think it could have gotten much worse.
That is true. The bar was not set high. Yes, indeed. This has been very clean from that second round win onwards. And what do we got? Another half buy from 3D Max, of course. It was a bit of a trend earlier today that Falcons fell a little bit flat against this sort of investment. So, I'm sure Zonic would have mentioned something between those series that's a little bit sloppy in places. It's been a great place to right those wrongs.
I feel like you probably mentioned between the maps, but it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't
do
change
a lot.
much. To be fair, Dust 2, they didn't lose nearly as many.
Well, they tried to run down Madden, and they were unsuccessful. But Joko and Exorcist have found their kills, and there is enough room for Exorcist to get a plant at the very least. Lucky is there to back him up, maybe help his escape. The double swing onto the right side of the site, and they will succeed. Exorcist has an AK in hand, but Madden prepped for the swing, and he has not been missing many shots whatsoever. 5th round for the Falcons, but 3D Max getting that extra cash injection from the plant will be nice for the coming gun round.
Pretty decent attempt from 3D Max. I didn't know where to look when they did the actual hit, because I don't know if the A side part was a feign, but it pulled all of my attention. Didn't even realise they're flying out mid and through that window towards B. Can you imagine for Falcons it's even harder to assess and then allocate the forces against what's coming. Okay, well. Another gun round to come for 3D Max. At some point, they need to stem the tide. The money is also pretty good for the defense. We need something here from 3D Max.
Oh, it's a great first kill there from Snappy, but the trade is immediate. Regardless of what 3D Max do, they need to get past Madden at some point or another. And they can't wait forever. Dupree is pushed through mid. A gap in the T-side default could come back to haunt them.
Some biases still be. They still think there could be a player, at least one, towards lobby, and Dupree is guessing the wrong way. Madden, who's he joined by? Magisk. I'm going to say bomb site. Dupree clears.
Oh.
Still, some Pice doesn't move. Now he's on the move. Bit of user coming over towards A. There's definitely a world there where Falcons could have that information earlier and have the rotations, but still, it looks good. They're playing deep lines, and now Dupree comes into play. Mac has got no chance. There is absolutely nothing he can do in this round.
Yeah, perfect angle management there from Sampias as well. You see it from Maka's point of view, barely sees much skin at all. And that's enough for the Sampias AWP. I was a little confused why Dupree didn't full clear B, but they made the call anyway. But they saw and heard the util come out on that A bomb site, so it did, I think, prompt that rotate regardless of what Dupree was up to. I will say this is, you know, with my criticisms of 3D Max and how slow and default heavy and, you know, lack of activity on maps. I think I was pointing out on Nuke. This is the map that I've seen that happen to them the most. Where I don't know that they've got a lot of drivers to push back some of the control that Falcons are setting up for on that A ramp. We saw Joko try and go past the smokes once or twice. I think Maka has tried his hand at it as well, but it's very rarely a pack of players that are actually setting up for that sort of territory assertion.
Seen very little pressure middle B. I think that's going to change this round, but Falcons are preempting it, aren't they? Dupree and some Pice here. Pice tucks. The flash goes off. Here comes Exorcise. The teammate in tow, but some Pice pushes. This can get very ugly very quickly. What is going on? Bit of a head stack. And Exorcise finds the second. I don't have much of an explanation of what we just saw. But 3D Max are in a huge advantage now.
Yeah, Joko got a kill over on A as well. Snappy does at least counter that back.
What is the boost clear? Am I missing something?
I can't make sense of it.
What does the boost clear? Does it let you peek without being seen from the box? But is that... I don't know, man. I can't.
It doesn't feel like enough of an advantage to go for. I think I'm also a little confused by the Sunpire's walk push on the AWP after he got flashed in that cubby. I thought he was going to set up at the boxes or something, but he wanted to get in there.
I guess the logic for him might be that, you know, this is just a lone lurker that's just thrown a random flash.
Sure.
Because it is a bit... I think you do have to ask, what was that?
Why is he flashing?
I don't think you could go up with a good answer for that either.
Especially when he had a teammate next to him that had held mid, so it's not like, you know, he'd missed a timing or anything.
All in all there. I don't know. It was like a game of chess where none of the pieces moved the way they should or something. Like, everyone was playing a very strange game of Counter-Strike there in mid.
Well, it pretty much was make or break for the round, and 3D Max are able to get their hands on a second because of it. That Exorcise double. Definitely having a heavy hand. From all of the A-sided focus, this time it's more mid and B focused for the Falcons. They have some pious on the AWP to lock down long on at A ramp position. But with them finding an opening onto Dupree and window, hard to think that 3D Max don't just finish towards this B bomb site. Gravity's already up towards white, and Madden pinned and taken down to very low health up close. Magus is walking the front side of that smoke, however, and 3D Max are canceling. They're trying to set for a reset, and Magus getting that opener and seeing very little response, no resistance from 3D Max. They'll have an inkling that this is happening.
Good flash. Sampire still almost connects. Nade does the job. What on earth do you do from here? Mac is still mid. We've got 20 seconds, so there's no messing around. I don't see how you get this bomb down at the moment. Snappy's got aggressive in towards Ivy, and they have no idea. A bit of a shame. It's got to be said, though, Magus wins the round. If he doesn't get aggressive, I think Falcons are really intent that that's still going to be a B hit.
Yeah. I mean, there was little noise made, but it was going to be hard to argue that 3D Max couldn't have continued and just waited that smoke just to make sure that their close is clear before re-execing on the bomb site. Yeah, Magus gets a lot of information. And it helped that Sunpius got a kill on the nade just as he was falling back as well, you know. Man advantage. 3D Max were somewhat held up by that. It's a great aggressive line there from Sunpius. Late crane peek. Snappy out from Ivy, all the same. 3 players that remain here for 3D Max are clustered at ramp. And reinforcements is en route here for the Falcons. It's not been a committed choice as of yet from the French side. But they'll know it'll be hard to fight for territory answering back. Swings are just too well timed and playing off of one another. Megas got in from behind and Madden made use of all that chaos.
Madden's been so good. It's been an absolute joy to watch. Some pious as well. Getting engaged in the way he wasn't on Nuke. It's nice to see. And this map is trending in a flipped yet similar direction. Similar story to map number 1, 3D Max. At this point, are just fighting for survival. They need rounds, they need scope, they need leeway come the second half. And they have changed the pace. No more slow rounds, no more defaults. We're going in for the jugular.
How well guarded is that jugular, though? Sampaius hit his kill, got a tag. Snappy as well has been great at finding his one. And so he's constantly a thorn in the side of 3D Max should they continue to foray into this A bomb site. They are losing health. They are not finding kills. And the Falcons know that they've got some troubling positions for 3D Max to clear out. No, Snappy goes out swinging. Mega's trying to make amends, and he'll catch good timing, but they almost line up for him. It's the instant gravity trade. Bias may have started off as one of the primary defenders on A, but he prioritized his life and now has a 1-on-2 on his hands. Oh my goodness, Deagle drawn, and Joker was out in the open. A hard one to clear. An off angle that would have made that AWP difficult. It's all on timing, and Gravity will swing at the right moment. Even took a tag, but had the health to trade. It is close, but it's a third 3D Max round.
Having to move heaven and earth to win rounds at the moment.
Nothing is straightforward.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Just such a different complexion from Nuke, what we're seeing here. And it's not going to be a fast B round this time. Sorry, fast A round. It will be more of a default.
Dupree just naded himself somehow.
Happens to the best of us.
He just dropped at his feet. I don't know how it happened.
Well, Falcons are quite convinced that Sampaius has cleared ramp. All leaning elsewhere now. Mid and B are heavily bolstered. And for the moment, 3D Max have no presence A. They might not even know they've lost it, to be honest. And they're running right into the Lion's Den. Split starting to unfold. And Dupree claims the first. One back in tow, but there's so many in defense. And actually, look at this. They're wrapping in through elevators. Oh my lord, that's such a good call. I don't know if they just realized there's so many players here. I guess they saw Madden over, which means A's got to be lesser defended. That is a clutch call if I've ever seen one.
And such decisive choices being made here by 3D Max in the embers of this first half. Exorcist fighting out from the rafters. While I won't succeed in his kills, it's Maka that's left on this late lurk that will be completely unsuspected here from the Falcons. Finally exposed, Magus down. And the second is there from Maka, but Sampaio in position to trade. That is so damn close. It's a nice attempt, and while Sampaio is lost in the smoke, he doesn't have a kit.
Oh,
he doesn't have a kit. He's lost it. Maka has done enough. 3D Max have gotten away with bloody murder at the end of this half. A fourth that may provide just enough room in the second half. We'll see how things go after the break.
We're still reeling from the events that capped off the first half here. And 3D Max, by hook or by crook, they've made it to 4 rounds. It's still slim pickings if they can't get this half off to a good start. But what a story it would be if that missing bomb really does make a difference.
Yeah, that would be devastating. They need this map. They got blown out on 3D Max's pick. Falcons need best foot forward here on Vertigo. Joko spotted cruising down the ramp, and he was alone. He did not have a fallback plan. Snappy decapitating immediately. And 3D Max clambering quickly back into short. It is clustered up with dualies on toe.
Rigs first.
Oh my goodness.
lord.
Damn.
Snappy. My hero. Absolute hero. That second kill must have been instant. Looked at it from our screens, from our perspective. That's one way to put us onto Anubis.
I mean, yeah, he was not in a favorable duel with all of them clustered like that, but by God, has Snappy done it. 3 kills in that pistol, and very rightly placed. You know, especially if they want to reset after what happened at the end of the half. It's a good way to answer back. 3D Max, identical buy to what the Falcons did in the second round. Maybe I'm just behind the times. It's MP9s and armor, but it will not work out to the same efficiency. 3D Max had 3 on B to try and take this control early, and they've lost all their A-side defense.
Third map seems inevitable now. They just never got engaged here. At all. Have 3D Max. Such a troublesome map. Third, of course. Reminding myself, it's going to be Anubis. Anubis is another one of those maps where the stats look so good for Falcons. They don't play that much of it. That'd be very interesting. Should we make it that far? And it certainly looks like we will at this rate.
Yeah.
What is the scores in the other games? Have a quick look. Find myself. So, Eternal Fire, they did blow out Cloud9 on the first map. That was Cloud9's pick. We're now on map 2, which is Vertigo. It's 8 apiece. We're going very close. And in the lower bracket, Fnatic have snatched map 1, as has Heroic. So, less surprises in the lower bracket. I need to buy an Eternal Fire jersey. To just fully roll into the hype train.
Yeah, why not? Play some good Counter-Strike. This could still be a pretty hectic round here for the Falcons. Sure, there was some SMG saved over from that round prior, but some pistols have been brought up alongside it.
Yeah, the only thing is, like, unfortunately for 3D Max, we like damage on these rounds, but we just need rounds. The moral victories are not going to save this map. We need something heroic.
I think the advantage that they have is that Snappy's low enough HP. They know this is still a very losable position for them to be in. But rotates being heard away from that B bomb site. Dupree did call them to just accelerate onto A. It seemed like Snappy was gravitating away from A ramp, if not for those steps. So Joko doesn't really have much of a chance in this, but he does good damage downrange. Sometimes we're down to 17 HP. Joko seems to have a pretty good read, but Snappy further forward than Joko anticipates. So the Falcons, I think, dodge a bullet in that particular round. This is where the stop has to come for 3D Max if we want to talk much more about this Vertigo. The Falcons looked impenetrable when they were on that defense. I mean, so many great performances.
It's been a bizarre day for them, hasn't it? Because they're... When they're playing good CS, they really are a cut above everybody else in this qualifier, aren't they? Maybe with the exception of Eternal Fire if they're playing well. But they're just inconsistent. There's not really news to a lot of us. This round, though, is brutal. Absolutely brutal. What are you going to do? When Snappy comes for you, it's going to be 12 for Falcons.
Oh, could have done well to get rid of this AWP that Maka is attempting to save. but not sure that's going to have many implications. You said Falcons already at that 12 marker, and 3D Max really, really desperately needed to hold on to these rifles. They've already lost one of the ones that surrounded Maka on that AWP, and Maka doesn't even escape with his big green.
I feel like
That
the
is
more CS I
most
watch
likely it.
today, the more CS I watch from Falcons, the more I'm thinking, maybe just cycle Nuke a bit further down the map pool. They are really good on these other maps.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Maybe start picking Dust 2.
It's a good shout. They've always spoken about how communication for them is a work in progress. I wonder if Nuke is so rotation dominant that they're having some problems. A map like Vertigo, though, intrinsically a little bit simpler. They've made very few mistakes here. There's been so few gaps. 3D Max. They don't have the likes of Jocko on fire this map either to give them chances. It's just been a whitewash.
Well, that's a great kill there for Lucky. Not a low health, but the nade finishing off the job. Going deep enough. Lucky was trying to tuck as far as possible. Falcons just stop and freeze for a moment. Wait for these smokes. They know they have that man advantage. And that 3D Max will be desperate for information or a chance to get at least one of them back. Gravity spotted, and a great adjustment onto the ramp face there from Magisk. He's trying to bail out Dupree, but nice movement in from Sampius. He'll find both at the end. It is a 13-4 for the Falcons. It is very similar, almost in the scoreline from that first map. Both teams winning their map with a very assertive hand.
Absolutely. I don't think we expected after map
Close in the scorelines, very also tenuous on the last map. Same with Falcons in their opening game against OG. I think both those series delivered in being far more compelling, far more exciting. So yeah, I am hoping that Anubis can offer up a little bit more, because it has just been whitewashes on both the selections. So now that we're on middling ground, surely it can only go up from here.
bar set pretty low. We need 5 rounds from the losing team. And then we're going to call it a competitive affair. Okay. Well. What have we got here? There's so many players in mid for both of these teams. It's going to be a bloodbath. But who comes out on top? Looks like 3D Max, doesn't it? Those are some huge entries from Graviti. He has absolutely dominated that one.
Yeah, and even unsuspecting of a player still sat at rugs. They do collapse on this A bomb side. They are trying to push for that A main space, and they'll get every kill. In fact, only losing Joko for their troubles. It's Graviti that ends up with 3 out of that pistol. Yeah, they were just on a collision course, weren't they? 3D Max a late mid take or a mid swing, and Falcons get caught trying to waltz on out.
Certainly do. Certainly do. Right. What have we got then? Full force buy for Falcons. No surprises given their other buys in this series. They really do like a second round force. And this time, B just gets immediately crunched.
Wow.
I didn't like that. At all.
You think about the games this series for Joko as well. And you're not expecting him to miss a chance like that. There's deep flash out from CT. Trying to get some more room on this 5-7. And Sampius will collect on his kill all the same. Maka is still inside of connector. Exorcise playing from main. And, yeah, I mean, Exorcise is lapping them up. It's Magisk that remains, and there's an AK that he can retrieve, but Maka held safe guard, peering eyes onto that AK. 3D Max dodging a bullet. Dodging that second force buy.
I just don't know how Snappy got that kill.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
That's what the 5-7 do.
Be weird, wacky, and wonderful. All in one. What we got then? Heavy eco from Falcons. So passes the flash. And they're in the right place. Dupree, what's just happened? Dupree announces himself. Of all the rounds, this was the weakest buy. This is near on full eco. And somehow it's Maka against 4. The bomb is down in towards the cave. It's impossible. How he can't win this?
Yeah. I don't know what to make of this round. I mean, Snappy bought as well. Everyone else had effectively committed to the full save. So Pius does get cleared out. No one was peeking on the Falcons side, and that leaves Maka suspicious. Why on earth are they playing so defensive? They must have been trying to line up for some kind of backstab. Maka will try and clear it, but he didn't go far enough, and so that's a free one for Snappy. AKA to be recovered as well, and they will reap the rewards of a miraculous Dupree double on that 5-7.
Sometimes the Danes just shoot, and you win some rounds. That was absolutely magical from a pair of those Falcons players. And that has done bad things to the economy of 3D Max. Look at this. Free Tech 9s. Already, the complexion of this half has changed. Already, we could be up for a very competitive game.
Oh my goodness. Magus gets
This
caught
map
with the
is brutal
smoke.
so far.
And that was the only A defender. He was ready to jiggle, get that smoke down, and fall back, and I mean, he jiggled right into his death. Good smoke at camera as well, sectioning them off. There's, I mean, heavy rotations from the Falcons. I'm not surprised at that whatsoever, but this will be difficult. Good util down from 3D Max will get them room for that plant. Uh-oh, left on the lurk. Lucky was there to try and backstab, but it's back into 4-on-4, and there's enough util to still go in for this retake here for the Falcons. Molly out, forces Maka into the open, but the AK of Maka just ripping heads, and his teammates are not quite overwhelmed as of yet. It's Graviti that wasn't really peeking with the rest of the squad, trying to play hit from his position, and Snappy's so low that the spam from that tech at range will be more than enough. That was a desperate attempt to get that defuse. Dupree was already kind of calling it quits. But by the scruff of their neck, 3D Max have found a third round. I don't know what is happening.
I love this. This is... It's so wrong, yet so right, this map so far. The rounds are just chaos. And 3D Max played Nuke with such speed and intensity. They go into Vertigo, they default every round and get ripped to shreds on A. And now we're just back to absolute reign of terror, utter madness, Hot Wheels speed onto all of these sites. Oh my.
Yeah, these rounds have been very unforgiving. Hard to really call who's going to come out ahead in any way. And so this round is a bit more standard temperament for Anubis. A little bit more control focused. See a lot of the utility being exchanged between both sides. Flash in to try and push Snappy away, but he was able to dodge the flask. Magus there to cover the retreat, but he gets his head ripped clean off. And given that that's Magus, Exorcist is going to take some space over towards A main. See Snappy clamoring right back in, rotates through to heaven, and the first is good, but Maka there to trade, and that's the A bomb site absolutely ripped wide open. Falcons will probably do well to save here. They've got some Pious off, Dupree and M4, but Modern swing out on good timing as Exorcist juggles guns just as that bomb is making its way over. But that may have been fool's gold. Now the rest of the Falcons are in proximity, but there's still not really enough space for this. Dupree out through the smoke, dies to the Molotov. And it leaves some Pius in a 1-on-2 with no kit available and an AWP for this retake.
I think he'll be saving if nobody swings. 3D Max just aren't slowing down. They will not slow down. They will not relent. They will not give any ground. Graviti has just been a menace, an absolute monster. And they're showing a few rounds now towards this A side of the map. What does Falcons do? I mean, surely it's got to be an eco to follow this round. Or some parts will say this AWP at the rate we're going.
I thought they would call the
work with.
I just thought they would call the save after Snappy died. You know, Magus died, and Exorcist took a main, and then Snappy gets there, he goes 1 for 1, and no one else is really close enough by. And then Martin swung with the MP9, and then suddenly all the guns were going for the retake, so... I thought Falcons would have seeded the round. Instead, they tried to fight for it, and now they come into this round with 4 MP9s and an AWP. I won't doubt it. I did last time, and I learned my lesson.
Something's changed with Falcons. Before the player break, they were not buying this aggressively.
Also losing a lot more games. So maybe it's just, let's try something new.
To give them credit, they've had a very good week.
Yeah. I think they're on a 5 best-of-3 win streak.
Yeah, and even the games before that, I mean, they lost some series, but they were playing very good teams. It's much closer to where they want to be.
Yeah.
And surely they were playing this brand of CS in those games. It would have changed since then. So, something's cluing them into this. Certainly have players to make it work. Snappy needs to win this engagement, and he does. That's going to bisect the map for 3D Max. They've now got a much tougher time hitting a site and getting these numbers into one place. Look at the amount of tension they're focusing on to mid. And Snappy crosses, I was going to say. Surely gets picked up in the end.
Ooh, tags on the Molotov, so Maka tried to spam on timing. It won't connect, but they are very aware of how they're manipulating these players inside of Connector. Still doubled up inside of COD though, and 3D Max are set up for an A-side attack. Sampaius is here with his AWP, and they are not swinging with flashes. There's very little util to make things awkward. Molotov now down, and Sampaius sitting inside of those flames. But it won't be enough, and in fact, he swung out for more. Joko had a nade pulled. Not going to bring it back to 3-on-3, but now man advantage found via Madden. And they are caught inside of camera. This is still awkward here for Sampaius, but that's a great read. Immediately flicking to that heaven angle, and they will be able to trade coming out of camera. Shoutouts to Sampaius on that saved AWP, getting impact on that 3D Max A-side attack.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
It's better. The good news is that all the rounds have been so close that despite winning a few in the row, 3D Max actually have no money whatsoever. And now they'll be forcing. This is more like it. This is a very competitive game.
Yeah.
If Falcons equally have no money themselves and they just tanked their loss bonus, of course, by winning a round. Not surprised to see a pause.
I mean, getting what we wanted, but I feel like we should have been more specific in the way that it's happening, because these rounds are really scrappy looking. And not to say that players are playing bad CS, it's just all the rounds are so hectic. I maybe want a little bit more control, but that's not for me to impose. Whatever gets a result.
Apparently that's Aurora at the moment. No, sorry, wrong team. I've ruined it. £9. Couldn't have got that more wrong. Oh well. Onwards and upwards. The aggression. from Team Falcons. Dupree gets himself traded. Sorry, not Dupree, actually. Madden's the one that goes down. So Dupree's on low HP. Where's that? He's pushed A? Magus has pushed A.
Yeah. That he has.
And he's not stopping.
Why would he? Another headshot for Magisk. Yeah, they're going to stay away from this A bomb slide. I mean, Lucky's seeing if Magisk will continue, but after his 2, that's when he'll fall back.
I think Magus has been the best player today for Falcons.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
he's been so good.
Martin's had a hell of a day, too, but some of the ways in which Magisk was getting his impact, I mean, was crazy. So I think through this Falcons project, Magisk has definitely been the most consistent.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oof. Okay. Well, I wonder if they know that the Magus in some parts are so low. Guess not. 16 seconds. No chance of making it to a site. But yeah, on the topic of Magus, he's just via almost the eye test. You still watch him play and you're like, this is one of the best players in the world at his positions.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a shred, no doubt whatsoever, that Magus is ready to play. He's ready for this team to ascend back to the top. He will hold his own.
I mean, you could put him on most rosters and he's like tournament beater or tournament getting level right now.
Yeah. I mean, he was an absolute linchpin behind Vitality's major victory.
Sure.
No doubt it. Obviously, you know, peak Astralis somewhat had an embarrassment of riches, having Dupree in peak form and Device in, you know, most consistent player there's ever been. Bit of a different story though here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a challenging journey.
Certainly has. I will say, if this Falcons project works in the end and people like Snappy and Magus, you know, especially Magus, make that big, maybe Zonic behind them.
Yeah, regardless of the rumors that
they actually pull it off, the storyline will be incredible. Because they've had to fight so hard and
against so much scrutiny.
Yeah, obviously as well. And, you know, you see it in traditional sports where just trying to essentially buy your way to victory. And I'm not saying Falcons are doing that now. I mean, they're trying to build a real project here. That's what everyone looks at this team and says. That's what you held up against.
Well, this was a force buy here from 3D Max that hasn't really ended the greatest. Some nice kills from Snappy, Magisk there as well as support. That could have gone wrong, but with the 3 kills that Snappy gets, it's more than enough security.
Yeah, I didn't realise they're getting flanked so badly. You saw the mini-map and you're like, wow, they're about to get pinched. I'm not surprised they're fighting towards this tunnel side. That could get a little bit sketch for the defense. Falcons pendulum swinging back in their direction at the moment, isn't it? It's going to be an eco to follow for 3D Max, of course, guys. It's a reasonably T-sided map as Anubis. So Falcons should be pretty happy. I should hope.
I will hold my breath given the day the Falcons have had against the Force Buys and, you know, Tech 9s and the sort. I think as well, when you think the game maybe getting out of reach for the other team, rounds like this can sometimes just blow up in your face. Close range angle though from Snappy, and a great spot to have held. Sumpais took all the attention, and Snappy, I mean, highly effective on that MP9. No, in this map so far, Snappy's been very effective. 12 and 6 is the in-game leader of the Falcons. Yeah, now I think Falcons are feeling pretty damn good. money buffer, 5 rounds on CT. Already, that's kind of I think the target most teams will aim for.
I was just checking Madden stats actually because I just reminded myself that with the Boros to eventually do pre, Madden took on a lot of different positions, a lot of star player roles. Not necessarily here on Anubis, but definitely a player that should be near the top of the scorecard for this team, which obviously hasn't been the case in previous projects involving Madden. Fair accounting of himself today. Is Madden about to get in a lot of trouble here? There's a lot of players around him. Jocko. Smoke fake
Oh
jumps
my God.
up. That's just evil. There's no other word.
Obscene. He was still in the air. He got the wings on the kill and everything. And the first bullet just goes straight into Madden's face.
That's not allowed. Not allowed. Not fair. But that's Counter-Strike. That's why we love it.
Yeah. Most people would handle it. You can handle getting jumping MP9'd. But an AK, that's probably one of the worst weapons you can have when you're jumping around.
Okay. Well, we're getting what we asked for. This is already a more competitive map. even if a team wins, what would it be? 8 in a row to win it from here. Still our closest map. So reminder, guys, where we are in the event. This is it's in the upper bracket. The winner of this series will play the winner of Eternal Fire. Eternal Fire. Somebody, who were they playing? The Cloud9?
Eternal Fire Cloud9, which has already
finished,
concluded. Yeah.
Give me a second. Right, yes, okay, yeah, it was 2-0, 60, 13-6, 13-8. So Eternal Fire will play the winner of this series for a spot in Rio. And then the loser of said series will get a second chance. So win this and you've got two goes. 2 goes to make it.
Yeah, 2 slots at IEM Rio.
It's a big deal as well because that lower bracket is suddenly becoming dangerous. Cloud9, Fnatic, and Heroic are waiting there, plus the loser of this series. You've got a much better chance of making it if you win this.
Well, this will start nicely here for the Falcons. Quick kill from Dupree in from Connector. Joko trying to get that fast space into canals, and it's just getting kills all over the map here on the side of the Falcons. I mean, the mid play just getting completely shut down as well. Not a lot of bites from 3D Max in these past few rounds.
Hope that doesn't come back to hurt Falcons. That was a bit unnecessary, and Snappy will know it. What have we got? Got some Pius in mid. He's playing a very conservative angle. Magus is back sight on A. The 2 players in towards the cave, in towards Electric. E-Box can get aggressive as soon as confirmation of the positions are found. Some Pius on the Tech 9. Needs to get out, brother. Keep running. No escape act.
That makes things a little awkward. Falcons were starting to rotate heavily through the canals. You can see Martin and Dupree were en route towards that A bomb site, but Shoulder spotted.
No.
Lucky, a lovely shot. And will he expect that this player is coming in through main? Drops a smoke right at his feet, so could be planting anywhere either side of it, but he's trying to jump up, and Dupree is already all the way out from main. Played separate from his teammate, but did so and caught Lucky on timing. It's nicely handled, and it's a little awkward for 3D Max in that 2 versus 4. You know, they knew Sampires was around middle, but neither of them wanted to pull a smoke and get caught on timing, and that just makes it easier for the AWP to perform. I'm sure Lucky would have benefited greatly from having a teammate in that potential finish on that A-bomb site.
Okay. Quick pause. Assume of a technical nature. The lack of a attack pause graphic up the top.
Yeah, usually when there's no timer, I think that's why we think it's
I don't
tech.
think anybody's dropped out. Feel like it, at least. Okay.
Yeah. But the last few rounds have not been quite as crazy as the start of this third map
No,
in the
not quite.
series.
I think Falcons should be quietly content already with this half. CT Anubis, they've lost a few rounds to some very aggressive plays, but it's such a hard map to hold on the sides if you're getting split. You're gonna lose some of them. So I think they should be more than content, I think, with how this is panned out in the end. Whereas I think for 3D Max, I mean, this last round would make them feel better.
How about they won, what, 4 of the first 5 rounds in this map? I think that was what the scoreline was, 4-1. And now Falcons have won the last 5 of 6. So, yeah, it's been tough. 3D Max got off to a decent enough start, and sometimes that can be enough, even on, you know, your favored side. You're thinking about how much more you can get out of it, but
I'm enjoying this qualifier. I think obviously we've had the RMRs qualified and such on concurrently, and I think this week of Counter-Strike got another qualifier at the end of the week. It's going to open a lot of eyes for what next year is going to look like. Much more like this. There'll be a lot more, of course. There will be a lot more closed qualifiers anyway for next year, given the way Valve is. There'll be closed qualifiers for every event, pretty much. So we're going to see a lot more qualifiers in general, and there'll be a lot of this where, you know, Falcons are having to work to beat 3D Max, a team that doesn't have the advantages that they have. And this will be next year, when everybody's in the same boat.
yeah, and with speculations about RMRs even existing, and how important ranking is, and, you know, make it through the circuit as it develops next year. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot more chances for teams like these to play each other as well. You know, I think there's sometimes teams at the top that really get shielded from playing against the teams that are trying to work their way up the ladder. And
I think OG for the longest time would have been a great example of that. They played very few officials in 2022. And probably also at the start of 2023. Of course, ESL and Blast partner team are OG. They basically play their events, and obviously try and get into the majors. That's the way they worked. They have changed their philosophy recently. They enter a lot more competitions, realizing that playtime is good. But also the other factor is that you need ranking points come the end of this year. Every event matters. Of course, Rio's a little bit later in the year, which means, you know, the way points taper off, the later in the year, the better, really. So, if you're a Falcons, if you're a 3D Max especially, make Rio win, I don't even know, one series, and you might jump a hell of a lot of ranking points.
hell, even do well at the RMRs. You know, that's, you know, these
Even
will
better,
all benefit them. And there'll maybe a chance for 3D Max and Falcons to play each other at the RMRs. It's kind of hard to say given the Bouchol system and all the ways that the matchups get sort of mutated based on abnormal results. But I think there is a world where they can play based on their Valve World rankings and seedings.
What would we do without that website?
Yeah, it's so real.
You'd also be amazed. Every single pro player I've ever seen at an RMR or a Valve event has that open on their phone 24/7, working out who they're playing. 24/7. Creates such strange dynamics where the players suddenly become the biggest fans of other teams because they realise that with this permutation, they'll
Play a weaker
know,
team potentially.
exactly
or...
they'll draw like Gamer Legion
Yeah.
instead of Navi if Fnatic can beat Heroic, that sort of thing.
All it takes is for one upset, and suddenly the whole formula is just it takes a toll on every other matchup.
Well, we'll update you guys as soon as we have information on this pause. We can't tell what it is.
Yeah, I mean, all the players are still here.
I mean, Graviti hasn't bought nades. Could mean something, I don't know. Perhaps he's having connection problems. Bit of a shame, though, because we're right at the fun end of this. We get into it.
Yeah. And I don't know. It'd feel weird. I mean, the fact we have this long pause, then we play this last round, and then, spoiler guys, we do go to a break at the halftime.
I know we're the break at the wrong point here. Okay.
So there's a lot of thinking time for the players and
Ooh.
us, in fact.
I believe we've heard they're going live pretty soon.
Okay, that's great.
So we won't have to riff for too much longer. Eternal Fire's making Rio, man. Telling you.
I mean, they've played a great first day of Counter-Strike for the close quals, so...
How are they doing in their concurrent events as well? Are they in a good place? Oh, indeed, by the looks of it. I'm telling you, that team is actually good. It's the hill I'm willing to die on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just at the end of last season, they didn't look the most in form, so it's good to see them bounce back. Similar to the Falcons, they have been doing a lot of bouncing, and especially in the last week, like you sort of pointed out. 5-game winning streak coming into today and into this matchup, but 3D Max have put them through their paces, and it's still yet to be determined who comes out ahead out of this half. 3D Max will have wanted to get more out of this T side, but if they cede to a 7-5 half by the Falcons on their defense, they'll be in a real trying position when we see that half swap. Thank you for bearing with us through the technical pause, but this is a round that 3D Max, I think, desperately need. It's going to be a timely nade here from Magus. Maka's still holding with that ult towards connector. Nade is a little late, but still brings him within one-shot headshot for those M4s.
Yeah. That's always the thing, isn't it? You just need just over 10 damage and suddenly make all the difference. Magus and Snappy here feel to me very exposed. Very, very exposed. Ceded a lot of mid control, who got Madden's peeling off to shield this position a little bit.
I think 3D Max has done a good job of masking their intentions. The smoke in at Temple, it still keeps these B players somewhat guessing, but that Madden support could have come in at a better time. Snappy Molotov, but the smoke down to allow his escape. The flash is great. Magus is caught trying to protect Snappy, and Snappy doesn't fight or even try and flee. Instead, he hides behind that smoke, and he's only good for one. 3D Max crunching in this A bomb site, and all that's left is these two B defenders left to retake.
That's all she wrote. Infamously hard to hold as that A bomb site. You can see getting pinched between the offensive lanes. And now 3D Max are primed for 6. It's last round. I mean, I'm not really sure what the plan is here. Clear mid first, I guess, but you're going to need a miracle to retake this bomb site. Debris finds 1 and 2. About 10 seconds remaining, so we can't mess around with that player up on the ledge in Lucky. Surely now has sealed the deal. It's going to be 6 for 3D Max. Lucky with the closer. All square, a competitive affair here on Anubis. We'll be back after the break to see who's going through to that upper bracket final. One half to go. First two maps. Blowouts, not competitive at all. This has been a different affair. Winner of this will play Eternal Fire tomorrow for a flight to Brazil. Here we go.
Gonna need a great performance here from 3D Max. 6 losing in that first half wouldn't have felt great. Lucky just fighting and hitting some lovely shots on the USP, and once again it was this collision course in middle as it was in the first half pistol round, but 3D Max winning both pistols on this map.
It's massive. It's absolutely massive, isn't it? Well, that is some real spice thrown into this series now. Just imagine a 3D Max Eternal Fire off bracket final. Winner, of course, makes it. That'd be wild.
That is, yeah, not what you would have expected coming into this
Absolutely
close
not.
qualifier.
Absolutely not. I mean, 3D Max, let's not forget, guys, they were not favoured to beat Fnatic. Granted, Fnatic maybe not quite as good as Falcons, but I mean, I'm just speculating, but if they can take 2 scalps in one day, they're in business.
Yeah. That's a little awkward there for the Falcons. They come in on the second round on the force buy, which has been their choice all day. But even on that double swing attempt, they awkwardly kind of lined up with each other as they tried to swing for mid. Kill for Magus, but that's about it. And it's now Pius left alone. And not really a gun to retrieve either. One body of the French side is on that A side. And Joko's angle is very difficult to clear. Alright, no problems in the second round.
No, yeah, they look good. This round should be the one to bank up some cash as well. Lucky's had a tremendous map. Of course, it was Jocko who was the absolute hero of Nuke. Nobody could mount anything on.
Just a
on
tank.
map 2. So don't even think about Vertigo, but on Nuke, Jocko was a beast. Lucky here is doing tremendous work.
Marcus had a pretty good shift today as well, but maybe overstaying his welcome inside of middle.
I'm surprised Magus is so far down the scoreboard, because it must mean the end of that half they're having real problems on A. He was playing just fine at the start of that first half.
Yeah, and Snappy was doing a
engaged.
lot through mid, right? So
Yeah. Saw a lot of rounds though at the end where him and Snappy were just getting swarmed. There's nothing they could do. A little bit too static from Falcons. Is this round on?
It's on. I'm just not sure how far it'll actually go.
I mean, any damage now is still good damage. This is already a win.
Well, yeah, they do find some of that extra damage. And so they'll take it. Plant. Keeping the economy of those CTs low enough. And they'll have a gun round with all the bells and whistles.
Yes, sir. Okay. Right. First go around here in the second half. These MR12 games go very quickly. Very quickly indeed. So Falcons will not have time to bed themselves into this T side. They need to hit the ground running. See which Snappy chooses to call on this map. Almost bewildering that Snappy leads the way for his team. Don't see that every day. He stepped up on the defense. Can he do the same? The T side, of course, we particularly look towards the calling department. Winning game leader in Snappy. And he'll need to make some good decisions.
You're right to highlight Magus having his struggles in that first half. Another person we praised was Marden. And neither had too impressive a performance on Anubis so far. So hoping this T-side can reinvigorate these players that have shown such great ability so far in the qualifier. Nice nade to blow open the smoke here by 3D Max. They look to take A main. We'll see that it is
It's
empty.
all well and good, but it's I'm surprised Falcons aren't speeding up elsewhere. I think you should have been able to read it was free there. But actually, they're going to do the reverse. They go back in for control, knowing the 3D Max would have backed off. But Mac is still here. And actually, the 2 remaining teammates are also in towards cameras, so they could help too. That has not worked for Falcons. And what is the next move? You have no control, really, on this map. They're going to reroute through canals. And consider a split on this B bomb side, but 3D Max know exactly what's up there. But all the info, they know it's not mid. They know it's not A. They're going to send all their nades to buy time and make this awkward for 3D Max. Another piece of damaging util hits the deck. Magus braves the shrapnel to try and get in first. And actually, with these 2 kills, this could be game on. An important duel here in Exorcist. He is 1 bullet from death. Fortunately, doesn't meet his end. I mean, huge pressure on Maka in this retake. He's the only one with HP.
Yeah, Dupree didn't hang around. He didn't know that that player flanking was as low as he was. And Maka's very hesitant to make a step, make a move. The jiggles out into connector are fantastic, and Maka's calling the save. Yeah, they needed that kill if they wanted to go in for that.
That is wild. I don't know what happened on this B-bomb site. It was so fast and hectic, but the trades didn't go nearly as well as I expected for 3D Max. They had so many players, and Falcons were dispersed because of all the util being heaved towards them. I think it was Dupree and Dupree and some bias that just got some massive kills from out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was like a 3-on-3 from the back of the B bomb site straight to connector. You know, it just felt like that site was split in half, and that was the only fights that truly mattered, and it was just a back and forth lining of trades. I was right there with you. I thought 3D Max had done enough. They had the info they needed, but...
Such a hard map, though, on the defense, isn't it? There's no... If you got a man advantage on an Inferno, a bomb site, and you just play double pit one site, you're going to win the round. You can't do that on Anubis. It doesn't gear itself in that direction. There's always going to be chances, always opportunities presented. And Falcons go for contact plays. Look at this. A very different look. A couple trades with Jocko's in a formidable position, but he can't hold on. He can't hold on. They brave the util yet again. This is crazy Counter-Strike. We're getting towards the end. Falcons just need to cross this bomb and get it down.
Could be able to throw it over to Sampai's, yeah, and he'll be the one that plants instead, but he's going to be open to con this whole while, and Exorcist is going to take that timing. He'll see the head of Sampai's, and that's a free one. Bomb doesn't even get planted. Leaves Martin with that smoke that's up that allows him to cross, but he'll have to deal with Exorcist first. He's still healthy. Great off angle to take as well, and sure, they'll trade on their damage, but Exorcist getting the double kill they need to get to double digits.
Huge play. Comes through the smoke. You could see Madden was already backing off, thinking, I want to be outside of B main for the after plant. Of course, never got that far. Never got that far.
It's a brave...
Another pause comes in, which makes me a bit nervous.
I just think in a 2v2, when you've got that left side smoke, if you can't control connector, Sampai's plant position is very brave.
I think they felt that smoke down the bottom was a brick wall when it wasn't.
Yeah.
Didn't need to plant that open as well. They're thinking about main. It's a little bit perplexing.
Yeah, it's just a gamble decision, I imagine, and it was the wrong choice.
Played a lot of CS, though, today. Both of these teams. And we're dragging it on here.
Yeah.
Another pause.
Well, the Falcons are on LAN, aren't they? They're playing the
I guess that's right.
Dacha event. Because I think they were playing the Showdown as well. Yeah. They play the Showdown from the same place, and they will be playing this from that LAN event as well, so...
Yeah, they might So the way it works, guys, at most events is you'll have a tournament set up and you'll have a practice set up. Falcons might also have, depends how they've done it, they might have their own private, as in they'll isn't set up by themselves. Like there's plenty of boot camp spaces in Belgrade. It's kind of the hub of the world, honestly, isn't it, for boot camps? So who knows?
Yeah, because before we started at the Intel Extreme Masters closed qualifiers, they did play 9Z and beat them quite handily. Yeah, this will be, I think, their third best of 3 today. Well, small technical pause, but we're right back into the swing of things. 10-7. Nice job from Exorcist in that previous round. Lucky continues to have that impact here for 3D Max. Feels like there's been different players entering that discussion for them throughout this series. That's a lovely kill from Joko, but he lost Maka in the back. And Graviti trying his best to hold on to this B bomb site. He'll succeed in getting his double kill, but on the reload, thought he'd get caught in transition. Martin does eventually track him down. Bomb dropped out in the open. With Exorcist coming in from canals, Martin has to try and protect what he couldn't last time over. Exorcist, quick kill, and Magisk brought down to so low health. One more bullet would have done it, but that's the difference between a 1-1 and a lost one. And Falcons just barely squeaked through. That was a much faster round from the Falcons.
This map is everything I wanted it to be. Oh. You just have to fear, though, don't you? Of course, 3D Max, they win 2 rounds ago, the one that preceded the last, but not with many players alive. And look what it's done to their loss bonus. They're all in by the looks of it. At least a couple of them have. Yep. Caution to the wind. They're doing this because they know if they save, it's FAMAS is the best in the next anyway. This is inches from being maybe not even an even game. Maybe Falcons in control.
Yeah, this could be quite disappointing. They get themselves that little margin that they really needed to come into the second half. But yeah, the economy can be a dangerous thing to toy with. You need to keep money saved. Then one day your boiler bursts, and then what do you do?
Call mum and dad.
Send
And
help.
beg. Maybe that's just me.
Just somebody help.
Please. Okay. Well, Falcons in the midst of their default at the moment. If they poke and prod a little bit more towards A, there's not a lot of resistance, is there? It's just Exorcist out in the tunnel's position. What do we got? Oh, let's drop the bomb. There's aggression. Did Maka just fully spray some pie through the smoke?
No, I think they must have blown it open. They both
That
fought.
makes more sense.
Yeah, they both fought out of con. And they wouldn't have spotted the bomb. It wouldn't have shown up on radar because they were fighting through the smoke like that. But they may have seen it leave his soul.
Is that true that you wouldn't see the bomb if you burst?
I don't think the radar shows properly when you're blowing smokes like that, but whether or not that discussion matters hasn't had an influence on this round. The Falcons do just clean up what was a struggling buy from 3D Max.
I think we need a Free Clicks Philip video to explain this.
Yeah, there's
I would assume that you could see it on the map, but you might be right that the game doesn't register. The radar doesn't register that there's nothing in your eye line. It might. The radar probably still thinks there's a smoke between you and the bomb.
I think that's more often than not the case from my experience, but the radar's is actually like weirdly inconsistent, I think. Sometimes at long ranges where it feels like they're barely on your screen for more than a half a second, it'll still show up on radar. And then there are other times where I know players are staring right at somebody for a good second or two in a gunfight, and it doesn't pop on the radar. So I'm not too sure. I don't know the full sciences behind it. But I said it confidently, so I hope it's true.
I know, yeah. Well, that's what real scientists do is, you know, just look confident, say long words.
Amalgamation.
And people will buy your health supplements.
Hmm.
That's how it works, guys. That's science.
I don't know enough
Did I
about...
ever tell you about the botanist that I visited in Cyprus?
I feel like this is a whole story.
Oh, he had like a botanical garden, and then he had every, you know, herbal concoction imaginable, and, you know, explaining to me all of the amazing effects they would have on me and my body, all of these things.
Right.
Let's just say some of them weren't family friendly.
A potions master.
Yeah, they were certainly not family friendly, some of them.
Yeah. I don't think I could handle his strongest potions.
God. I didn't go near him, but yeah, he was honestly quite a character.
I think you'd have to be. Right. 10 to 10.
Yeah, I don't know how I got onto that, but sorry.
No, you're fine. I could maybe use a concoction or two, and maybe these teams could use some help in that regard. I'm not too sure, but they need to get a scoreline up to 13, and neither team looks like they can really strive for much consistency. Falcons have found some success as of late, and they try and just journey past the util again. They run through the Molotov after it's thrown at their feet, and they break B.
They've done it too many times now for it not to be a protocol. They, in a way that I don't think you'd see on every other site. I think a lot of sites you might respect it, but maybe Anubis is just a map where when you have that chance, you need to take it. You need to take it before the rotators come in because you're in such a favourable position to crunch the CTs.
Yeah.
It's working. As it has done all half. I'm very intently watching these saves because these guns need to survive.
Yeah, the call was made immediately. The angle for Maka is very advantageous. Snappy was not even considering it.
It's one of those angles where you're like, there's an angle there?
Yeah.
Like, there's a box there? Who knew that?
Yeah, the umbrella covering most of Maka there.
There's a DM angle, that is. Use that one at home.
But these faster plays towards this B bomb site, you know, whether it's been quick canals control into the B hit or the contact plays that Falcons have tried, they are catching 3D Max out. Aggressive control this time, though, set up by the French. They throw deep stair smoke. They want to crunch with the help of these A players, but Exorcist gets gunned down, and Lucky does double up inside of main. The trade is there for the Falcons, but Maka's still fighting in from the canals, and Modern cannot approach, cannot even link up with Magisk. His aggressive call from 3D Max working wonders, and the util drawn for Magisk will make him ill-prepared for the gravity swing. 11-11. Once again, we're tied up, and the money is now really hanging in the balance for both these teams.
We're going to see every round in regulation here at a minimum. Getting what we asked for.
You just simply won't be able to buy at full strength for the Falcons should you lose this round. And 3D Max will have a little bit more kind of saved over. But they'll have to make more than a couple of compromises.
Final timeout in from 3D Max. These rounds matter. As mentioned, winner plays Eternal Fire. That will be tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening. 7:30 PM Central Europe. Loser plays Heroic for elimination in the morning. This morning for in gamer times, it's 2:30. Sorry, 3:30 Central Europe, 2:30 here in the UK. So, who's going where? 2 rounds could decide a lot. 2 rounds could be very pivotal for either of these teams, booking their flights to Brazil.
Once again, aggro util thrown by 3D Max in those canals. This time lurk smoke thrown by the Falcons. Both teams not making use of the util they're throwing. Just trying to bait some kind of response. And the Falcons do have control of A main. Kind of smoke at the entrance. That Magus will actually venture through. Michael is holding the other edge of it, but he misses his shot. And Magus doesn't stick around to find out whether he'll miss another. It's a good retake of main here from 3D Max. Falcons will be deterred from this position. But I don't think they have great util to actually siege this site. They can't really section it off the way that they have been when they've gone for these B hits. But they only have to deal with 2 players.
I don't like this for the CTs, I've got to be honest.
Just no resistance.
Double nades on the plant, but they're very late. I mean, granted, they do a lot of damage, but I think Falcons will take this. 5 alive. They've got connector, they've got main.
There's no smokes.
Some players poaches Jocko before they can even get engaged. Another leg onto Graviti. We're running out of time too. Really? Wow.
Yeah, they've no smokes. I mean, 5-on-5 where you can still play for main connector, you could be glyph. They have nothing to make the sightlines of the defending T's that much more difficult. And that hyper defensive setup there from 3D Max.
Yeah.
That really cost them what could have ended up being a 12th round. I mean,
I wonder if they've just been conditioned that way, because they have lost a lot of rounds playing up close, haven't they?
Yeah. There's been a lot of burst through main as the...
That reminds me, what just happened there reminds me a lot. I remember when I was coaching Endpoint, I can't remember any exact scenarios, but I remember I was having a lot of discussions about there are times where you just can't play retake. We just don't have the util across the map, we don't have the options, and you just need to fight. And I wonder, on reflection, I mean, when are they ever going to get good duels from that position? They need mistakes, wouldn't they, from Falcons? They need no util. Or, you know, bad pathing or whatever. They didn't get it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a very good call from the Falcons as well, not journeying much further than the actual plant position. You know, they got the bomb down, and that was kind of it. They already knew they had con and main, and they didn't need to venture much further. Oh my goodness, Lucky, what on earth? What? He tried to find a gap around the edges of that Molotov and instead just sat inside of the flames, burning to a crisp.
Can there ever be a worse time for that to happen? You're 11 to 12 down. You need 1 round for overtime. And Madden, he's a menace and he's coming hunting. Exorcist out in the open. Where's the cavalry? There's no help actually here for Madden. Bit of a shame that player towards the end. Some intent elsewhere, but the bomb is going down. That's good after planting with a lurker and mid as well in Dupree. Doesn't even get spotted. Doesn't even show himself. This round is done. Falcons will play Eternal Fire tomorrow. It would take something miraculous.
Yeah, it doesn't seem likely. Graviti floored, and Joko will join him. It is a Falcons Eternal Fire upper bracket final to find out who goes to Intel Extreme Masters Rio first. That is a heartbreaking way to lose out on what is a very close map, and a very good map from Lucky overall.
Yeah,
will be shrouded in that one